Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and a Lego set and to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, just go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. It's a Monday. I got some anime to chat with you about. I've got, do I have anything else besides that? No, yeah, anime, manga. We'll talk some video games. We'll talk some wrestling. A little bit of a potpourri of news. Finish up a cool model kit from the year 2000, a 23-year-old model kit, and then we'll start a fun Lego set that I managed to pick up for a pretty good price. Haven't worked on a Ninjago kit in a while, or Ninjago, so we'll get into that, and that'll be fun. Yeah, I don't have much to say here up top. Update. I went back to my original hold music, which I'll continue to use because it does not trip anything. The VOD I had last night, or Saturday night, one of two, both were fine. There was one song got muted in the first VOD, but the rest of that hour was fine. I refreshed my router today, so hopefully, knock on wood, I'm knocking on some wood right now, we will not have disruption or drop frames or a disconnect or anything like that, but I am recording locally, so that shouldn't be a problemo for that. Anything else, news of the day that I need to say? Reminder, I'll remind you a couple times, tomorrow's stream at 9 p.m. Eastern, it's Jackbox Party Pack 10. And I'm going to be playing with chat, so I would love for people to come to the stream. So if you want to check out the brand new Jackbox Party Pack that came out last week, please come and participate in the stream. And once again, that is this Tuesday, so tomorrow, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. This is your reminder, and I'll probably mention it throughout the stream. Unjan is here. Welcome, Unjan. Happy to have you here. Welcome, everyone, of course, to the old stream. I hope you're doing well. We're gonna get into building. I don't know, like now. Now is just about now. Yeah, I'm gonna retweet my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to join us because it's always nice to have more friends. Maybe things will pick up. Maybe this will be a very chill Monday night. If it is, it's all right. I do like it when people are here for the streams, but if we don't have, we don't have. You can see here we do have our model kit that we are working on. We have the tank treads done. We've got like the thing that connects to the top half of a mobile suit that we are working on. We finished the head here. We've got arms. It's a whole thing. It's a family affair. But we need to start working on part 6, or step 6, I should say, the chest. So we can start getting this whole thing together. We just get the top half done and then connect it all together. So we need a poly cap. This kit requires 0 stickers, but it does have plenty of poly caps. Once again, this is a kit from the year 2000. If you missed my stream on Saturday, we started this kit, so it is a 1.5 stream build. It should not take too long. Of course, I've been panel on it, trying to make it look real pretty, real nice, but I haven't really had to do too much work to this. There's only so much work you can do to an old kit like this, where it's like lots of big parts make it work. I'm happy to work on this. Never worked on it before. I did work on the Guntank early type. Some of y'all may remember that build. It wasn't too long ago that I did that. So yeah, this is a more advanced version of that, even though that kit came out later because it's part of Origin. So that kit came out later, but this is, it's still similar in its style. But this one has the colors that you remember. I wouldn't mind a 2023, 2024 version of this kit. I think that could be quite nice to do a new version, HGUC version of it. I could see that being real neat, getting some more details in there. Maybe if Gundam Evolution had been a runaway success, was it Evolution? whatever the Overwatch knockoff was, whatever that was, if that had been a bigger success, you know, more people did learn about the Guntank because of that game. But, you know, maybe if even more had, it would warrant throwing out a new version of it. Of this kit, I should say. But yeah, I guess that, hey, maybe it did do as well as they thought it would. It just tapered off faster. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't read any books about it. I don't have any details on how well that game did or did not do. But clearly, it didn't do as well as they would have wanted because they got rid of it. So I guess it didn't do super well. All right, we'll connect this. Got to find this piece in here. Got to get that looking all right. Why are you being weird? This polycap is important. There we go. That took a little second to fit in there. Polycap is important because it will connect here. So got to have that in place. And then I got a couple of pieces I got to put in the front here. Kind of spruce this thing up a little bit. Got to add a little gold in there. Really make this thing pop. 8 goes on one side. 13 goes on the other. Great. All right, let's see. News. Things we can chat about today. Let's talk about... we'll start with some video game news. We got a new subscription, but it didn't pop up in chat, but it did pop up in my activity feed. There it is. It just got delayed there. It was delayed. Thank you very much to Hark Archase. Thank you very much. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Hark Archase, thank you for the subscription with Prime. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the old Build With Baer. Appreciate you being here, and thank you very much for becoming a subscriber. Wrist fan, welcome. Happy to have you here as well. So we're going to talk about a couple of glitches in big video games. Here's the thing, right? I'm not mad about this. Glitches happen. Sometimes they are funny. Sometimes they are bugs that were just unknown until they got in front of enough people. You feel a little bit better about bugs for smaller games and smaller dev teams and stuff like that, especially like PC issues where it's like, well, there are only so many systems they could like test it out on before they just had to find out in the wild what was going on. Hey, Lord Crashton, welcome. But this is referred to by some people apparently as the Drag Me to Hell glitch in Forza Motorsport. You'd think Forza would have enough QA, and you think also that this issue would be a big enough deal. Why can't these fit in? Weird. Would be a big enough deal that it would, even if it was a known bug, yeah, they don't have any QA. Even if it was a known bug, that it would be a higher priority. Because known bugs happen. There are sometimes where you're just like, look, it was so hard to replicate this. It's only come up once. We're not going to worry about it. Like that definitely happens, has been known to happen, and will happen again. Known shippables. But this is just weird. Apparently, this is listed as a known issue on the bug tracker list, where multiple cars just start sinking into the earth. I'm reading about this on The Verge. And then sometimes cars just like... So, you've seen this in video games on like... I don't know. Like, playing a game that somebody made for like... And sold for $8 on Steam. And you're like, suddenly you just like... somehow get out of the world. You're just out of the world. And you have somehow exited the map. But I'm surprised to see that in a Forza game. It's very weird. Happens in F1 every once in a while. Yeah, that's how races go. Yeah. Yeah, Slur Crash did. Yeah, just this is you're right. It's real life, and why shouldn't this video game also do that? I don't know why this little piece just doesn't want to pop in there. Try to trim it down a little bit here, see if that's the problem. I don't know. Syncing is racing. Yes, it could be a good rebrand. You're right. And also the crowd there's a video where the crowd still cheers and it's wild to look at. But I guess there are some other issues. There was a patch which did not solve many of the issues people are currently dealing with Forza Motorsport. The most recent one with penalty system being inconsistent apparently, and also okay, so I should say this. The issue of cars fading into the world is not a gameplay problem that people are running into playing the game. It is somehow in the translation of the saved replays of multiplayer. That's where this problem is happening. It is somehow in the render of the saves. And that's why it is a known issue and not something that they have delayed the game to fix or put out an emergency patch or whatever. So because it doesn't actually affect gameplay, moment-to-moment gameplay, it just affects your enjoyment of replays. So, if there's going to be any esports elements, they're going to want that to be fixed, certainly. Because that'll ruin enjoyment of the viewers. I don't know if there is a league or anything or events or anything for esports, but I do know that that's at least something you have to consider if you are trying to make a go of that. You at least want your ducks to be in a row on that. So again, I don't know. That was funny to me. There's another glitch in Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 has now there's a thing that was going around with Spider-Man 2 that is not a glitch so much it was a weird mistake, and we'll talk about the weird mistake in a moment. But I want to talk about there's Easter eggs and stuff. There's a weird glitch that people were like, is this like a weird like reference like to tofu? Like why can sometimes the Spider-Man turn into a cube? Which really feels like it was like very early game, like we don't have the models in here, we're just testing the systems, just we'll make the main character just like a box just to test things out, as generally why you will see something like that. And you can still do effects because it's literally just changing the model out. And that is a weird glitch for, as the writer of this article on Kotaku, Ethan Gotch calls it spider block. It seems very weird, and people have videos of it. It has happened to at least enough people that there are half a dozen videos about it. So let's see. Apparently, it happens. It's not necessarily caused by, but apparently this happens when a costume, the suit model, fails to load. It like defaults back to this state. So we're not, people don't know why that's happening. And the easiest way to get rid of it is just to load up a different costume. Just go into the menu and load up your costume. So it's fixable. You don't have to reload. You don't have to restart. You don't have to turn off your console or anything. You just need to load up a different costume and it'll work. And again, some cubes like have glitched through the world. They've clipped. So it's probably for the best that if you're playing Spider-Man and you suddenly load up as a cube, that you fix that shit as fast as possible. And good luck to you on that. The other issue that happened in Spider-Man that apparently is getting patched soon. Multiple people fucked up. One person fucked up and then, or doesn't care, and then a bunch of other people fucked up by not catching it. No real reason why, for for however it happened, we don't know why it happened. In Miles Morales' bedroom, there is a flag on the wall, and it is the Cuban flag, not the Puerto Rican flag that you would expect from Miles Morales, who is of Puerto Rican descent. You would expect that maybe they would use the right map now, or the right flag. Now, you could argue, if you wanted to, if you really wanted to, you could just be like, yeah, it's probably on purpose. There's some story. There does not seem to be a story element. Also, Spider-Man 2 is the fastest selling PlayStation Studios game. Insomniac game making a whole lot of records on PS5. That rules. The developers have promised to fix the wrong flag problem, I should say. Let's see. Yeah, a bunch of people just being like bummed out about it. Now, is it similar? Are the two flags similar? Well, in that there is a triangle on the left, and there are stripes, and the colors of that flag are red, white, and blue. Yeah, except the Puerto Rican flag has a bigger triangle and half a star, or is on it. They're very different. They're just very different. They're like maybe similar. Big old bummer. Yeah, 5 stripes, triangle, and a star. But they are definitely different. If you look at them next to each other, you can't help but notice, oh yeah, that's wrong. So I do wonder how the fuck that one happened, but whatever. Hopefully it will get patched in, because that's weird. Any other gaming news chat about with you tonight? I just got a bunch of news stuff up, because I don't really have much going on with me. I guess we can wrap up game news before we get into wrestling news. We'll transition by news and talking about Pat Baer news. How about that, friends? We'll get a little Pat Baer news in there as I get closer and closer to finishing this model kit. In Pat Baer news, I did a little cooking for myself last night, Sunday night, during football season. I am often preparing my own meals instead of taking turns with the family or whatever. So in this instance, I was just cooking for myself, and I decided that I was going to follow a cooking technique that I saw on TikTok. Weird, right? Why not? Worst thing, I would have made a mess and I would have figured stuff out. I had chicken thighs ready to go. That recipe is fine. Bacon at 450 for about 30 minutes. Whacking some heat on there. Just patting it dry. And then on the skin, because this is the bone-in chicken thighs, I just put a little bit of olive oil and then rubbed in some paprika and some salt and some pepper. Nice and easy, nice and simple. That's all you really need on those chicken thighs. And I was like, well, I have some leftover vegetables. I'm just going to cook those up. That'll be fine. That'll be easy to do. I'm going to follow this TikTok trick that I saw. This one easy hack, this cooking hack on TikTok. I'm going to follow that, and I'm going to see how that goes. I figured, why not? Why not find out if this TikTok hack is going to work? It was for making easy wedges out of a baked potato. So I had a good sized russet potato, turned it on its side so it was standing up like this. And then I took an apple core. Apple core slicer. You kind of know those ones. Got a little circle in the center, and then it springs out in different directions, and you press down, and then you make apple slices, and you just have the core in the center. Same principle, but instead of an apple, it was a baked potato. Well, actually, an uncooked potato. So I did it, and it worked out well. I got photos on my Twitter if you want to go back and you want to check my media tab for that. Very easy. The core was like you would see an apple core, and so I just sliced that in half, and then the wedges were like pretty good size. When I worked at a pizza shop as a teen, we cut a potato into quarters for JoJo's. Okay, yeah, I could see quartering, but you got good wedges out of that, and it was very easy. Like I said, you kind of had to prop with one hand and put some pressure to get it started. What I could have done is, because I used a cutting board, I could have chopped the bottom a little bit to make it flat. That would have worked out well too. Didn't do that, but I could have done that. It was mostly a flat surface anyway. So I did those two things. That's how I prepped my potato wedges, and then I cooked my potato wedges. Now you could fry those if you wanted big wedge French fries, but I didn't want to fry them. Did you cook the core for a good potato stick? So the core was thick, as you might be able to see on some. I mean, I can just find one of the photos. So I just sliced the core in half. Let me go to my media tab here. There's no good way to import these photos other than to save them and then open them. I used to be able to drag photos into OBS and it would just show up, but that doesn't work anymore. So let me just save a couple photos here. Save this photo. I should have prepared this since I was talking about it. And then I'll show you the done version. So what I end up doing with these potatoes after I was done slicing them is I used vegetable oil, and I used paprika and parsley and garlic salt. Garlic powder and salt. So here's the step here. You can see. That's what I ended up doing, and then I just split the core right in the middle. But that is how I used the wedger there, and it was pretty thick there. And these were all good size. And then I baked them. Now you'll see this in image 2. What I end up using, because I wanted to put both that and my chicken in the same toaster oven, because I was just cooking for myself, I used a ceramic bowl because it was a good size to fit in there. I would not do that again. If I was doing this again, and I might because I enjoyed how it turned out, I would get a large baking sheet and separate them, because a ceramic bowl like that works great in an oven, works great in a microwave. It's very versatile. But the heat transfer is not the same as metal. If I had used a metal sheet pan, the heat would have cooked the fries way better. And also, if they had not touched each other, they would have been, basically I did it roasted potato style, but they would have had a better fry to them. So I know that for the next time I choose to do this, that ceramic bowl, while convenient because it allowed me to put that and chicken in the same toaster oven, did not give me the desired results that I would have preferred as far as crispy wedges. But they were cooked through fine. And also, the chicken and the potatoes took the same amount of time. At least it's hard to fuck up potatoes that much. Yes, Lord Crashington. At the end of the day, I just had good roasted potatoes, where I could have had really crispy roasted potato wedges. Instead, I just had good baked potato wedges. So it could have been better, but it wasn't bad. Oh, I pulled the wrong one of these out. I need these. We are almost done with this kit. Just letting you know. We're going to work on the backpack here, the rocket pack, our major means of our bonus propulsion on this kit. Yeah. We'll just throw a little bit of marker on here. But yeah, it tasted really good. I was very happy with the results of those. So that's a little Pat life right there. Last night I watched some wrestling with some friends. Watched Go Girl 4. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling did an event where the audience was all ladies and non-binary folks, of course. But no dudes allowed in the audience. and it was a really fun experience. The volume, like, it was a good crowd. They were happy to be there. Several hundred people in attendance. But you could just like hear it. The crowd noise was different. Um, the yelling for people was just a different vibe. Um, you could hear young voices in the crowd, which there are young people that go, but it was really neat. There was one thing about the show that I really loved, which is there was a very young girl who was dressed as one of the wrestlers, and in the first shot of the crowd shot, I thought for a second that that wrestler was just sitting in the audience, but then it turned out to be a young girl, and I was like, oh, nope, never mind. That's a child hanging out. Yeah, it was a good show, and I am glad that I watched it with some friends. It's always fun watching wrestling with friends. I'll have plenty of opportunities for that this week because there's a big event for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling that I'll be watching on Sunday, and of course, friends and I watch together wrestling on Wednesdays and Fridays and Saturdays. A lot of fucking wrestling happens. And I watch a lot of it with people. Lashbrook says, did you catch any of Mystery Wrestling 4? Yes, Lashbrook. I didn't catch a lot of it. I didn't see all of it. But I will watch it later. If you're unaware, Evil Uno, professional wrestler who works for AEW, the ostensibly the leader of Dark Order, has a Patreon supported, live on Twitch, archived on Patreon, supported wrestling series that he is doing, the fourth one, called Mystery Wrestling, where the live audience in Canada, which is where he's from, do not know who is booked. Nobody knows who is booked except for the people working on it. Generally, the co-announcer, it is Evil Uno, and then a co-announcer with some stunt casting, is announced ahead of time as a means to promote. And Mystery Wrestling 4 featured one Dan Reichert doing commentary along with Evil Uno, which was its own fun bit of business. Lots of nonsense involved in that. It was very fun. I did not watch all of it, as I said, but I watched enough of it to know there was a good time. And I will catch the rest on the VOD, the Patreon VOD. But yeah, I watched a little bit of that. Speaking of wrestling, did watch that. But yeah, I probably watch too much wrestling on a given week. It is not anime numbers for me, but it's quite a lot. I watch 2 hours on Wednesday, 3 hours on Friday, 2 hours on Saturday, and 2 to 3 hours on Sunday. And that's just wrestling I watch with people. Doom Kitten says, is that really such a thing as watching too much wrestling, right? I mean, so I would say, like anything else, right? Moderation is important. But also, don't watch stuff you don't want to watch, right? Like, I think that is the thing. The reason I got out of wrestling in the early 2000s was because I didn't have cable and I wasn't really watching TV. And then I got back into it because friends of mine got back into it in like the mid 2000s. And then I stopped again for a bit because I wasn't having any fun. And then I started getting back into Japanese wrestling, which helped a lot with my enjoyment. But then also it became part of a show. Like I produced a show that was wrestling themed. And then, of course, stuff with League of Heels, the video game stuff was wrestling themed, of course, as well. So that became something that like I had reasons to keep up with the product. And now I watch a lot of it because I have friends that watch it with me. We're all in a Discord watching wrestling and we chat while we're watching. And that makes it interesting to me to keep up with what's going on there, where I could probably cut out some of it otherwise. And then I would, even if I didn't have people to watch with, I would still watch a lot of Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling because I really enjoy it. I think the worst thing about any hobby it's not the worst thing. A bad thing about any hobby is doing it all by yourself and not having an outlet for conversation about it, right? I watch a lot of anime because because I enjoy animated pieces. I like a lot of the stories and the genres, and it's fun to watch that stuff. But also, one of the reasons why I watch as much anime as I do is because I talk about it on stream, right? Talk about it here with all you. We'll talk about that in the second hour. I'll talk a bit about the shows that two shows that I've been watching this weekend. And it's fun to chat about those things. It's a good thing to talk about as I go through. And there's some stuff that I don't talk about on a weekly basis, but I keep track of because I enjoy it. But if I didn't have this outlet, I would either look for a different outlet for it. I would look for community where I could chat more about the stuff I'm watching, or a thing I could do would probably do a little bit less of it. I think that if nobody who watched my streams enjoyed model kits, I know some of you don't build that often, or you don't build at all. You're just here because it's fun conversation, because you like me, or you like what we chat about, or whatever. Or you're not really interested in building kits, but you like seeing kits get built, whatever. Whatever the reason that some people may have, it is nice to have this outlet for me as a model kit builder. I would still be building model kits because I enjoy building model kits. If I stopped enjoying this, I would do something else on stream. What that is, I don't know what that could be. But if I didn't like building model kits, I would definitely cut back on it. But if I was just doing this on my own, I would probably do less kits. It would be a once in a while thing, or even just a weekly thing instead of 6 hours a week model kit building. All right, we got our gun cannons. This is now officially a gun cannon because I have built the gun cannons, and now I am installing the final gun cannon, hopefully right now. Let's get this one in. There it is. The gun cannon has been assembled. I'll turn it like this way so you can see. We've got our arms that are just guns. We've got our cannons that have a little bit of wiggle room to them. The kit does pivot a little bit, which is good. The tank treads do not spin, which is understandable for a high grade from the year 2000. I'm okay with that. The head does have a little bit of movement. Can move around a little bit. I do wish that the tank treads worked, because that would be fun as something on my desk, because I am considering having this as a prop for at least a little while on the desk. Yeah, and guns can raise and lower. It's a fun bit of business. I do enjoy the gun tank. And I'm going to take a photo of this gun tank, and then we'll move on to Lego. We're gonna jump into some Lego building, but first we need to take a photo of this. Anime news. Let's see. So we did hear recently that Laid Back Camp Season 3 was coming. And now we know that it will be April 2024. And the visual that has been shared is a photo of our main girl, Nadesco, taking a selfie in front of a train. So that's cool. And we know that there'll be a new theme song and all of that. And of course, we do know that 8-Bit is taking over the production from a previous studio, which isn't always the best sign in the world, but it'll be okay. Lord Crashton says, I like the mental image of firing those shoulder cannons that is flying off the shoulders. Like, yeah, like the idea that you shoot the cannon and then like it just takes off. Also, I love the idea that you shoot the cannon and it just moves backwards. When you shoot in space, how come it doesn't push it backwards? Right? All right. So let's take a photo of this gun tank. I'll take 2 photos of this gun tank. kind of hard to get a good photo of this thing. There we go. All right, I've taken 2 photos of the Guntank. That's enough Guntank photos. Goodbye, Guntank. You were a fun little build. I enjoyed you. And now we will work on a Lego set. I have not worked on a Ninjago kit in a while, or Ninjago. The tread portion must be incredibly heavy to keep those cannons from pushing it back and flipping over. Yeah, Lord Crashing, one would assume there's a lot of weight in the bottom of that kit, the build. Yeah, I've not worked on a Ninjago kit in quite some time, so fun to get back into that, because like I said, been a little bit. Also fun to work on their dragons, because the Ninjago line of dragons are fantastic. So again, this is Jay's Thunder EVO. We got 2 bags. Got instruction book. We'll do bag 1, then we'll do bag 2. The easiest way to do that, in my opinion. So we'll start by knolling everything in bag 1, and then we can jump into knolling everything in bag 2 at a later time. I do not think we will finish this kit today. I am fairly confident that I will finish it on Thursday, which will be the next time that I model kit build on stream. But yeah, we're going to take all these parts, and we are going to part separate in bag 1. That should be the first instruction. I should say, yeah, build bag 1, build bag 2, build bag 1. Yep, we're going to build bag 1. We're going to get some of our mans here, and then we'll also just start part separating, because that's the easiest thing to do on one of these. It's part separate. We're going to put in anything that looks like a person over here. We'll take care of that first. We've got a nice bandana in there. And then some sort of snake man. We're going to build a snake man at some point. And then it's just like, all right, let me find some pieces. Let me put them, separate them by color. That is that's what I do as far as knolling goes. Just separate by color and shape within the color. Just so I can be like, oh, all of my blue is over, all my light blue is over here. All my dark blue is over there. And then off stream, I'll probably separate them a little bit more, a little better, just to make my life easier. Just going to start putting them in places, and then I'll figure it out as we go. So as I'm doing that, let's see if there's any other anime news that I can share with y'all as I'm just separating this stuff by color, because it's pretty easy. Let's see. Oh, looks like I did not know that this show was coming out. Looks like it's coming out next year. The Weakest Tamer began a journey to pick up trash is an anime that I have read a little bit of the manga. I have not read a lot of this manga, but I've read enough to know that it was something that was interesting. So I would be happy to take a look at it in the future. So I'll probably watch that. That's going to be January 12th. Okay, so yeah, next season, that show's coming out. Yeah, it's a little girl that has a cool slime, but she's not that strong. It's a reincarnation story, and she's on the run from various things, meets some helpful people, but is kind of caught up in a bigger plot, and is pretty freaked out about it. But yeah, from what I've read of the manga, it's pretty solid, but I have not read all of it. But that looks like it's coming out next season. That's good. I want to watch Isekai, so... oh yeah, I haven't talked about... Doga Kobo makes a lot of girls doing things adaptations, and you may know, as I talked about Laid Back Camp, I am a fan of the subgenre of girls doing things, the cute, wholesome slice of life about, a group of girls and an activity and their enjoyment of said activity. I'm a sucker for that, and Doga Kobo has a original series coming out called Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, and it looks like we got a bunch of lovely young ladies hanging out. And they put out a promotional video coming out, and that's going to air sometime next year as part of the 50th anniversary of Doga Kobo as a studio, which is wild. So they're celebrating their 50th year by doing a cool new solo series. I'm excited for that. I will certainly check that out in the future. And that's just neat. A bunch of people from various things working on it that have worked on. The light novel author, Yuki Yaku, who did bottom tier character Tomozaki, is writing the series scripts. Okay. I didn't really love bottom tier, but I know some people certainly did, so that's neat. Let's see, is there any other news of anime that I would like? Sentenced to be a Hero is a manga that I was reading some scanlations of for a bit, but that apparently, it's been a while since I've seen any of that. That's getting an anime. Sentenced to be a Hero. Sorry, there's a long title for this. I'm going to give you the whole fucking title. It's got a goddamn light novel title name. Sentenced to be a Hero. The Prison Records of Penal Hero Unit 9004. And apparently, if you are a hardened, terrible, if you've committed crimes against humanity, you are just an unbelievable, terrible monster. You are sentenced to heroism, which is basically like a death sentence. So they put you in the front lines against the Demon King's army. And you're like, oh, okay, so it's like a death sentence. So you're just going to go out there, you're going to fight, and then you die. Well, no, they'll revive you so that you keep doing it. You have to commit your sentence, and your sentence is on, it will continue. Death is not an escape. And the leader guy is apparently he killed a goddess, but then he meets another goddess, and they make a contract together to fight demons, and it's a whole thing. I've read some of it, and it was very entertaining. I would consider it to be pretty damn good. So I'm interested in seeing that anime adaptation. It didn't feel that grim dark. It was action packed, but it didn't feel like hopeless when I was reading it. Sometimes series like that do have a tendency to be kind of like. It did not feel like it was punishing people for enjoyment, which, some series certainly have that vibe. This did not seem to have that vibe, which is, nice. As someone who does not want to read that kind of torture porn kind of a storyline or stories. And the manga is going to have an official release, which you expect, right? I would expect any show that has an anime adaptation that the manga will become digitally available if it already isn't. Just because, it might not be the biggest sales in the world, but it's going to be some sales because people, a global audience will, some amount of the global audience will watch a show and then want to read the manga, want to keep going with the story and all that. So, pretty neat. To complete our got some nunchuck style things here. Looks like to complete our nunchucks for our first guy, we will be using the lightsaber parts here. But yeah, we're gonna make some nunchucks. It's fun. And then we're gonna build. I assume I'm building Jay. I could not tell you. I'm gonna give Jay a shit-eating grin and some hair, a bandana, and then legs. I don't know if Jay wants a sword or if Snake Person here wants a sword. I'm gonna jump ahead and find the Snake Person which I assume is bag 1. I'm just going to find the snake person and we'll build this snake person here. Figure out where that is. It's got to be somewhere in here. Maybe it's at the very end of this one. Oh no. The very last step we're doing here is making a flag to put on there. Maybe they don't tell you how to make the snake person. Oh, there it is. Here's the snake person. We need this thing. Do that. I don't know why it's in like the middle of the book 1, but whatever. We're just jumping ahead. We'll do it now. There we go. Snake person is very tall. And then the snake person has... We'll give the snake person 2 swords. Snake person only seems to have 1 sword in here. But we're going to do 2 swords. Because that's cool. 2 swords is twice as many swords as 1 sword. I don't know if y'all knew that. I don't know if you were aware of that. But 2 swords is double the amount of 1 sword. All right, and then we'll put we'll build these things here. I don't know what's going on with this snake person. I don't know what their deal is. I don't know anything about them. Again, I don't know anything about Ninjago. I only know that I called it Ninjago for a very long time. And then finally people were like, Pat, it's Ninjago. It's like Lego Ninja, Ninja Lego, Ninjago. And I was like, oh, okay. I apologize. I didn't know. Didn't know. All right, let's see. Maybe wrestling news. We've got a little wrestling news we can chat about here in a second. Let me find the 4th of these. Finish up our snake person here. Let's see. I guess we should talk about this. You may know this. There are many wrestling promotions in the United States. The biggest one, by far, is the WWE. A not really close, but still very popular, reasonable, money-making promotion is AEW. Those are the major players. Now, some people would say, that's it, and then everything else is indie. You could make an argument that that's not true, that there are some shows that have, because they either have TV deals or they're out there, they're bigger than an indie, they're a national promotion, they tour, they do all this stuff. I'm not going to be here arguing whether or not that's fine, whatever, NWA, GCW, whatever you want to say. Impact Wrestling is definitely within the conversation. Is Impact Wrestling doing as well as AEW or WWE? Of fucking course not. They're not. They're still doing pretty damn well for themselves. They're still surviving despite many times where they almost didn't. Yes. Now, if you haven't heard the name Impact Wrestling, you may know them from their previous name, TNA, Total Nonstop Action. It was not tits and ass wrestling. There were tits. There were ass. They were happy for you to think that, especially in the beginning days, to maybe make the association between TNA and TNA. They certainly weren't necessarily against you understanding that. Tits and asses, yes. There weren't a lot of tits and asses. Tits and or asses. They said it was Total Nonstop Action. Now, some people think that feels like a very product of its day. That the name TNA, that if you really go like, oh, TNA, come on. But there are other people that have a soft spot for the name Total Nonstop Action, TNA. Some people still refer to Impact Wrestling as TNA because it's this thing, right? Wrestling a product of its time. Yeah, never. Here's the thing, right? Like anything else, like any other medium, fans of wrestling liked wrestling when they started watching wrestling. While I didn't watch wrestling much in the early 90s, I watched the late 80s, and then I got really into it in the mid to late 90s. Like, the new generation of the WWE is terrible. But there are a lot of wrestlers that came out of that era that I really liked and really enjoyed. And then for a lot of people, wrestling to them is the Attitude Era. It is the Monday Night Wars. That is wrestling at its best. But even then, even if you take that into consideration, take into consideration that that's what people think. There are people whose favorite era of wrestling is the ruthless aggression era of the WWE, the post-purchasing of the WCW, the mid to late 2000s, a terrible time in wrestling. Both the wrestlers presented and their skill sets, the storylines, the money. There were a lot of people that tuned out, but a lot of new people came in, especially young people. And so that's their favorite era of wrestling, even though it's not good. The same can be said for TNA, later renamed Impact Wrestling. And do you want to know why they renamed themselves Impact Wrestling? Well, there were some financial issues. There were some naming things. There's some conflict with that. But the main reason was they were going to name their show, their weekly television show, Impact. Because WWE has Raw and SmackDown. TNA just had the TNA hour. And they had like another hour that was syndicated, that was more in Europe and wasn't really available that easily in the United States. But they were going to name their show Impact. Because they're making an impact, right? Well, the WWE had kind of made it clear, and it got out there, that they were going to stop referring to things as wrestling or wrestlers. They were going to focus on the sports entertainment thing, because the diehards knew it was wrestling, and it's okay for them to know that. But in that era, particularly, it made some sense to them, at least, to focus on the name as hey, we're putting it out there. This is a wrestling company, but we're an entertainment company. We do entertainment. And apparently, there was some backlash against that. And TNA thought, well, if we say we're Impact Wrestling, we're the home for wrestling. We'll draw in that crowd that is unhappy with the WWE. And this is part of a larger problem with TNA, which is, as a company, their vision was, if you're mad at WWE, come out, hang out here. That was like kind of their big thing. And then their smaller things were, we've got this X division, we're doing some cool shit. We've got the talent from Japan, we're making deals with New Japan. We've got some Mexican wrestlers coming up. We're exploring other markets, and we're trying all this stuff in our cool X division. And then the top of the card was almost exclusively people that had gotten famous in WCW and the WWE, / WWF. That's pretty much exclusively their top of the card. Now, did Samoa Joe make it up there on occasion? Certainly, top of the card. Did AJ Styles make it up on that card occasionally? Certainly he did. But the majority of people at the top were people that had gotten famous in the WWE. And then, hey, to be fair, some of the people in the mid card would go on and have very successful careers in the WWE. Austin Creed, probably the longest run, most longevity would be R-Truth, Ron Killings, who was former NWA champion in TNA. And then would have an incredibly long career in the WWE because he had come in as K Quick, left, and then came back as R-Truth, and did very well for himself for many, many years. There are a number of people from that company, like, of course, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Great careers in WWE. Samoa Joe also now having a career in AEW. There are plenty of people that did rise, and then there were also some people who came into TNA, and they just, they had been other places and didn't flourish as well. And under TNA, they shined. Christian Cage is the best example of that. Christian Cage had I would say, better career in TNA / Impact Wrestling than he did in the WWE. You could argue that despite his run being incredible in the WWE, that Kurt Angle had a better time in TNA. Was treated like a bigger deal in TNA, which he wrestled in longer than he did in WWE, which is a wild thing. But also, TNA / Impact is a company that just had lots of financial problems, and then also they failed in every way. They were so focused on doing it right, again, not paving their own way, but being the alternative, that they brought in like Vince Russo, they brought in Jeff Jarrett, they brought in Hulk Hogan. They did all of these terrible, awful, unbelievably poor spots and decisions, terrible matches, terrible stipulations, nonsensical things, and all that. But still, there are a lot of people that, despite all that, remember really liking TNA. So they're bringing the TNA name back starting in January. It'll be, it'll become what once was Impact Wrestling will once again become TNA. Will they call their shows Impact? They probably should, but I don't know. Why are they doing this? It's nostalgia now. It's been long enough that they can just have a nice little nostalgia run. Whatever. Good on them. Hope it works out for them. No idea if it will, but I hope it does. And I should also say, before we move on to the pause for the cause and talk about ways you can support the channel, get some attention. And also, they've been on a nostalgia run, and it's been around long enough to kind of warrant a nostalgia run. I should say, before we wrap up there, one thing they did get right, they got things wrong quite a bit, but one thing they certainly did get right is the Knockouts division, their women's division with tag titles and with a world title that was competitive. They certainly booked some ladies that were not ready for television, but they booked many folks that absolutely positively killed it on any time that they were given the opportunity to, stole the show. And to this day, probably the best part of Impact Wrestling, which will soon be TNA once again, is the Knockouts division. Just unbelievably incredible workers in that division. Oh, I put this on upside down. I gotta fix it. I was looking at it as a tooth, and it's not a tooth. Whoa. All right, working on the head here. I don't think we're gonna finish this here. And women WWE rejected or didn't want to develop. Yes, Gail Kim probably would have eked her way out into a good long run in WWE, but certainly did better in TNA. Awesome Kong certainly / Karma certainly had a weird run in WWE that never really went anywhere. Particularly, partially not her fault, partially not WWE's fault. And ODB was never going to end up in WWE, and she would have just ended up touring Japan and would have made a good living doing it, but certainly hit way more success in TNA. But yeah, good luck to them. We're going to take a pause for the cause. I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel and what I do here. Everything I'm going to talk about here is optional. You don't have to do any of these things if you don't want to, of course. But if you'd like to support me, so I can keep doing nonsense, building 23-year-old model kits and fun Lego sets just because I saw it and thought it'd be neat to build, you could help me out if you wanted to. First and foremost, if you are a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here. You don't see ads. You get cool emotes. As you can see, Wristfan put those emotes in there. And yeah, I mean, like, you don't get interrupted by stuff. It's nice if you can do it, if you want to. Become a subscriber. You can use Cash Money. You get your credit card linked to there. You can just do that. You could be like Hark and subscribe with Prime, which is great. Though I love that. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you get that You got that free shipping, but you also get this token that you can use on a streamer. Make it me. You could also gift a sub. We haven't had any gifted subs this month. If you would like to dominate the gift sub leaderboard by gifting a subscriber to someone in the community, or do it anonymously, take credit for it, you got those options. You could do that. You could also, if you wanted to, do a little cheer. Harold did some cheering, which is nice. Thank you, Harold. And if you wanted to jump in with that, you could as well. Let's see. There are other ways to support me, and I'm going to go through that. I'm going to try to keep it pretty quick because we don't have a ton of folks here tonight, and most people that are in chat right now are already subscribers. But I still, there are people that watch the VODs and don't watch the regular streams, so got to promote. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining my Patreon. Just go take a look at it. Click on that link. Go see it. Go see if that's something you're interested in doing. Look at the rewards. See if it's something that you could see yourself doing. So that's Patreon. We also have YouTube. I got a YouTube channel. I just posted a video there today. I'll talk about that in a bit. Jump over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. You can subscribe to that YouTube for free. If you wanted to become a member, you could do that. There's a membership. You could join. And $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So the video that I just recorded that's going out to everybody else on Wednesday, you could watch that on tomorrow. And it's pretty funny, the new one that I just made. One of my comedy videos. It's pretty good. Let's see. What else can I tell you? We got that, we got that, we got... those are monthly ways to support me, but what about a one-time donation? Well, you could always do that if you wanted to. You could make a donation through PayPal or Stream Elements or through Coffee. And everything I make through those goes into a fund, along with my YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos, and Patreon and Twitch. It all goes into a fund that I buy model kits. This Lego set that I'm currently working on, this Lego set, I built with your generosity, past you, helped out present me, the Guntank that I just finished up. Thank you to Chris, don't know the username, just Chris, who purchased the Guntank for me to build. And that was bought off my Amazon wish list. So I made a dedicated video about that kit, and it jumped the queue, became the next thing I built. If you would also like to buy something and have that jump the queue, well, you can head over to my Amazon wish list and see if there's something there you'd like to see me build on stream. I got a bunch of things in there. I've got Lego sets, inexpensive Lego sets, some that are a little pricey. I got model kits, cheap model kits, expensive model kits, old model kits, new stuff. I got a bunch of different things. I got some knockoff Lego that I would be happy to work on. I got some real-ass Lego. I got some gear at the bottom. I try to keep this up to date. I try to keep it in a cost and make sure that it's something that's available. Occasionally there are things that aren't. But yeah, see if there's something there you'd like to see me put together. I'd be happy to pick it up or to build it. And again, I make a dedicated video about the thing you purchased, and it jumps the queue and becomes the next thing that I built. And there's also some gear at the bottom because it's nice to have options for gear. Let's see. Yeah. So see if there's something there you'd like to see me build. Alternatively, you can go to my Throne wish list. It's nice to have options and alternatives to Amazon. And my alternative is Throne. So you could go there. And then, of course, USA Gundam Store. The most convoluted way to support me is to go to USA Gundam Store. Make an account there. Buy a gift card. Your email will pop with a gift card code from them that you paid for. Then you go into, you could DM me on Twitter because my DMs are open. You could send me a whisper on Twitch with that gift card code. And let me just say here, we're going to, I got some spam. That's spam. Block. We're going to block that person. They've been blocked. Get out of here. Sorry, I occasionally check my request messages in Twitter. Anyway, you can do that if you want to use USA Gundam Store. Again, the most somehow USA Gundam Store is the most convoluted, difficult way to send me money so that that I could buy something to build, and more people have done that than used Throne, which is just a wish list site. It's very odd to me, but sure, whatever. All right. If you want to support me and not spend any money, join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. My Discord is nice, and it's waiting for you. A couple of video links for you to check out. Today, I put up a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. This episode is about not spooky anime. 'Tis the season, but I don't like spooky stuff. So I included recommendations of 3 anime that are not spooky. And I wore the cat ears that go on my the clip onto my headphones because it's cute. Why not? That's my costume this year again for the 2nd year in a row. But yeah, you could check that out and get some recommendations of some holiday themed anime. And then Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I write and perform a piece of comedy, which I have rehearsed at least some. It's barely rehearsed. And this particular video is a short little one. It is like kind of a thing on Instagram type videos, trying to the like self-help motivational videos. I just did a little bit of my take on that in a character voice that I wasn't expecting to do until it came out of my mouth. And I was like, oh, I'm going to keep using this voice. Cool. Which is fun for me. Your friend Pat thinks that's pretty fun. All right, we're going to talk about a manga, and then we'll talk about some anime. So let's get this loaded up. I'm also going to drink a whole lot of water. I've had sips of it, but I'm going to drink a whole mess of water right now. And we will dramatically transition back to the overhead right now. All right. So let's talk about a manga as I continue to work on this Lego. The only person in the world able to use all magic attributes. It's pretty self-explanatory in that. Despite all the evidence that you might know from the title, this is not an isekai. This is just an action fantasy series about a young boy. He's named Kyle. And Kyle's fucking had it kind of rough. Kyle has an incredibly good attitude considering how rough he's had it. But anyway, they just couldn't think of a concise title. Well, Lord Crashington, that's a larger thing. They don't want a concise title. They want you to buy the light novel because you read the title on the back on the spine of the book. And that interests you. I've said this before. If Bleach was a light novel and not just a manga, Bleach would have been called I Died, but that was just the beginning of my story as a Shinigami. Or something to that effect. Because that is the trend. An anime like Radiant. Radiant is a manga. You don't see that often. There are, of course, exceptions to that, but generally, a thing that starts as a light novel has a manga adaptation and an anime adaptation, has a long title, because the purpose is to get people to pick it up. Be that digitally, you see a list of new titles, or physical locations, which are still important in Japan, as far as light novels go. Because you're like, well, they'll just turn it over. They won't. They'll see the title. That is the trend. It is continuing to this day. So the only person in the world able to use all magic attributes is a sentence that lets you know what the story is about, and you can decide if you are interested in learning about that story or not. For this particular story, our guy is blessed by the gods. Our little man Kyle, he's blessed. He's the only person ever that can use every magic attribute. The problem is that one of those magic attributes is dark magic. And that's a bad sign. You don't want to be a high-ranking noble and have a son that can use dark magic, even if he can use all the other ones. Because also, you're not aware that he can use all of them. You only see the part where he can use dark magic, and also you're shitty. So Kyle gets abandoned. But a distant relative who is low on the nobility scale, barely above a commoner, ends up raising Kyle. And Kyle gets raised in a loving home. And he has happiness right there. And because of that, or just because he's just a good boy, it's just like main character good boy syndrome. Our guy, Kyle, is just a really good kid. And even if he knows dark magic, it's okay. Well, maybe you don't use it all the time, but it's still okay. And then Kyle meets an incredible wizard. And this wizard is just like, wait, you can use a lot of different kinds of magic, kid. That's weird. You can use all kinds of magic. Huh. All right, I'll teach you. I'll teach you some stuff. And he learns some stuff from that teacher. And that teacher is just like, well, you should probably go to the academy. Of course, the teacher is part of the academy, but then doesn't really reveal a lot of this information. And then through circumstance, because it's a story where this has to happen, some mistakes happen, and Kyle gets put in the F rank class with all the losers. Kyle does fight a kid in a duel who is very strong but shitty. It is the enemies to friends storyline. Like instantly, first off, Kyle makes a lot of good friends with some weird kids. But then also, slowly over the course of several chapters, turns a kid who was just like skilled, but kind of acting like an asshole. Kind of just converts that kid into at least like somewhat of a reasonable person. Because he gets humbled by the fact that this kid, a kid that nobody knows, whips his ass in magic. And then some demons show up. There's some evilness happening. There's a plot. There's some evil wizards and some monsters. And they're going to kill a bunch of kids in the academy and really fuck up the foundation of the school. Except Kyle whips all their asses with help from his friends. Which is expected because he is... The thing is, right, if you don't like overpowered main characters, this might not be for you. Kyle is so fucking... Like, Kyle's just so happy to have friends, and he's so, like, kind of carefree. Like, he clearly cares. He's a good boy. He's doing good boy stuff. But... it is a little bit where you're like, all right, dude, understand they're being mean to you. Like, okay. Like, it is the thing where he's just like, you're like being a bully. Oh, okay. Sure. All right. You should probably apologize for insulting my friends. Yeah. It is an easy read. It is pleasant as all hell to check out. The only person in the world able to use all magic attributes is like a very enjoyable little series that I think you would like. At the very least, I will tell you that I enjoy it. All right, we've done 2 legs. We got front legs, and we got one front leg. We got one back leg. The legs have been started. Now we got to build other legs. I don't think we're going to finish this tonight, but we're going to get pretty close to finishing it. So I'm definitely going to have to do another poll for my $10 patrons about what I'm going to do after this. But we're going to get like very, very fucking close to wrapping this up. All right, now's the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you about anime. I already talked about manga. It's anime time. 2 shows that I have been watching the past couple days. I Shall Survive Using Potions and the Family Circumstances of the Irregular Witch. We will start with, of course, I Shall Survive Using Potions. If you are unaware of this particular series, an accident happens with the God of Earth where a girl dies that should not have died, that should not have been there. and she cannot be brought back to Earth. She cannot be reincarnated on Earth, but she can be reincarnated in another world. And she basically convinces Celis, her friend Celis, Celestine, the goddess of that world, to give her a bunch of cheats so that she can live well. And she's like, I understand video games. I know what I could use. I don't want like, how many emotes do you have? Should we get an anime, manga, wrestling emotes? John, I do have wrestling. I do have slots available. And the next time that I do an emote, it will probably be related to something to do with that. Because like I don't do like thematic emotes like that. I've done, as you know, emotes that are like me but a thing, and then also the logo was the first one. So I do have anime emotes. They're, you know, it's like me. There's your anime emote. Become a tier 2 subscriber, and you can throw in there. But yeah, I don't have emotes that just say anime and manga. I could do that. I kind of like that all of my emotes are either my logo or weird versions of me, but I will take that under consideration. So our girl Kaoru is basically just like, I know the deal. I don't want to fight. I would like a cheat skill that I can make a lot of money and survive. I want to make potions. I want to make any potion I can think of in any vessel. And then also, I want like an item box where I can keep everything. And she just asked for like a whole bunch of stuff, which she is granted. And the last thing she wants, which is not important now, but I think becomes important later, she's like, I want us to be friends forever. Because she wanted to have a friend in that world. So she and the goddess are friends. But here's the thing. Our goddess could have told her that in this world, there are no potion makers. Alchemy is not a thing. There are some wizards, but there's very little magic in this world. It's a fantasy world, but there's very little people who use magic. And that magic isn't that impressive. So our girl has had to come up with other ways of making money and living. And one of those ways is she started working at a restaurant because she can create potions that are flavors and ingredients for food. So she's working at this restaurant. She's got a side business where she's giving advice to people because she has a business acumen. Because she was, I don't think she's a manager at her job, but she had a pretty good job and understands that kind of stuff, so she can give advice. Anyway, the prince of this place that she's living in, she's in the capital making money. Right? I think that one's fun. Me as a Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Pat. I enjoy my emotes. I enjoy me as a Lego person, me as the Death Scythe, and of course, the Bear Cave logo. All my emotes were made by Xandra, who mostly these days streams during the day if she's streaming. She doesn't stream that often right now, but when she does stream, she usually streams in the afternoon, so we haven't been able to raid Xandra for a while, but Xandra's good people, and I appreciate the work she did to make cool emotes for me to have on stream. Anyway, the prince is really interested in Kaoru. The prince is annoyingly interested in Kaoru, so much so that we find out in this episode he plans to propose to her. He's going to propose to her to make her the future queen. And then he'll like get her adopted by some noble, and it won't be a big deal, and we'll get that done, and no problems, no worries there. Except our girl is just like, fuck no. She already makes the decision. She says goodbye to her coworkers because she's like, the royalty wants me, and that's not going to happen. So I'm going to have to skip town. But she doesn't just skip town. She first goes to this party, which is for him to decide who is, his princess is going to be, his future queen, his bride. And he's just like, no, we're not going to get married. Like, what are you talking about? Why would I marry you? I don't know you. And also, we finished bag 1, so now it's time to know bag 2, and we got one more person to build here. She's just like, why would I marry you? I don't know who you are. I don't know anything about you. Why would I want to be queen? And she starts listing reasons why she wouldn't want anything to do with this, right? She's a commoner, so that doesn't make any sense. She'll have no privacy. She'll be too busy with diplomatic relationships where she has to pretend to smile for all these people who are just trying to backstab her. If and when she has kids, and everyone will want her to have kids, she won't be able to raise those kids because it'll be too much responsibility. So she won't be able to see her kids. She won't have any time with her husband. He'll probably have an affair because that's just what happens. And even if she was like a high-ranking person, she would just have to like never have a true friend, always be fighting with other people, and just like, having a bad time. And always wondering, like, if someone's going to turn their back on her. So basically, she's just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be queen. And it basically causes a lot of the ladies in the court to just get really sad with the realization that, yeah, part of their life fucking sucks. And then she bounces. She's just like, all right, bye. And he thinks about going after her, the prince does, but his advisors are just like, nah, dude, all you can do is let her go. Also, there's a whole thing where he's like, well, you're smart and beautiful, so it's perfect. It'll all work out. And so she cuts herself in the face and is like, well, now I'm a fool who made herself ugly. And so this is all fine, right? And she takes off and just leaves. And then hitches a ride to another town. This is now the third place that she's lived since this anime started in 3 episodes. But she's going to make a go of it in this town. And she decides, okay, I got to lay low. I just need like a job. Maybe I can like find a place where I can live, and lay low. And I'll just try to be a live-in maid or something because my potions can help me with cleaning, whatever. And I'll just do service work. She gets a job at a new place called Baer Workshop, which they make a bunch of different things. They're a crafting guild, and it's a mess. And a bunch of people have quit because it's such a mess. Oh, apparently I'm going to take this hair off, and I'm going to put on a mask. So there isn't a third minifig. There is just more gear, which is kind of neat. It's kind of fun. Put a sword there. And then we'll put the ninja mask on. And then Jay is going to have his mask on. And then also a sword. Now he's got nunchucks and a sword. We'll just put that aside. That's fun. All right, now that I've done that, it's time to work on the next part of our dragon. I don't know what this is going to be, but we're going to work on this. Let's see. So she's got a new job. She's hanging out. She's doing her thing. She's living, cooks, helping cleaning. It's a rough job, but our potions help a lot. She starts a side business because she's like, you know what? If potions don't sell because people don't believe in potions and understand what they are, I got an idea. I can craft as much as I want, as easy as I want. I can craft bottles to keep my potions in. And so she starts a side business where she has a friend, quote unquote, that is supplying her with bottles on a commission basis. So she gets a little side business selling bottles through the company that are very popular. And she has time. It's a good job. She's got free time. And so her free time is that she does research in the library to learn more about the world and the other places so that in case she does have to bounce out of this place, she can just go. She'll kind of have an idea of where to go next. And there's another thing that our girl Kaoru is doing. Our girl Kaoru, under the cover of night, she's helping people. Okay, so I guess bag 1 is like the ground version of the dragon, and now we're like extending the dragon out and building the like flight version. I guess the EVO is evolution. I'm learning about this world as we build this kit. Because this step was take it apart, add in an extender. So I guess we had version 1 of the dragon, and now we're building version 2. We're building the evolution of this dragon, I think. Yes, we're world building. Our girl Kalru, just to kind of put a fine point on the end of this episode, she has gotten herself a little bit of a organization, a secret organization called the Eye of the Goddess, because even in this town, there are a lot of very poor people, and they can't get medical treatments. They can't go to see doctors. They can't afford to. So our girl Kalru has a bunch of orphans that she's helping out, collecting information and letting her know about people that are in trouble. And then she dons a mask and says that she is a chemist that is friends with the goddess Cestine, who she is friends with. That's the goddess that brought her here. And so she's a chemist under there, so she has divine abilities, and that is a way to use her potion to help people, and she helps a lady to help. Yeah, she calls herself and the orphan kids the Eyes of the Goddess, and that is her plan right now, is to help people out via her potions, and that way she gets to use her potions and help people, and it's nice. She makes a whole big deal of it. You know, a big song and dance. And it's fun. It's a fun bit of business. Ooh, Build This Tale. The other anime that I have been watching is The Family Circumstances of the Irregular Witch. Every episode so far of this show has been 2 parts. It's because it's a manga adaptation. It's just short little stories. The premise, the only thing you really need to know about this one is Viola was found in the woods and raised by a witch named Alyssa. They both really love spending time with each other, and they are like, one is just like does not want dudes around stealing her from her mom, and the other one does not want dudes around stealing her daughter from her. They are both laser focused with that, and then hilarity ensues. This episode is a 2-parter. We got this guy named Glind, who is an orc craftsman, and he asked his friend Fennel help try to find a girlfriend. Well, Fennel wants to date Alyssa, but Alyssa's daughter keeps like fucking around with that and making that very difficult. So he's like, well, I'll set up Viola with this guy Glind, and then if she's busy with him, then and starts making her own life, then I can hang out with the woman that I'm interested in, her mother. And she's just like, look, we're just going to be friends. Sorry. Basically, immediately is just like, I'm not interested in dating you. You seem great, but no. And Fennel's like, Glind, you got to go for it. You gotta make this happen. He's like really pushing. He's really like, trying to wingman it, and it's not working out. And basically he's like, you got to do this so that I could date this could date this girl's mom, which you may not be surprised to know makes her unhappy. And then this whole episode ends with, or this part of the episode, I should say, ends with him being fed to, this ends with him being fed to a plant that likes to eat elves. Let's see. Yeah. And Glind is like, I think this very beautiful human woman might be too scary to date, which is a reasonable thing for him to think. Let's see. Then there's a whole story with an egg that's very fun. It is a cute story here. Alyssa agrees to babysit an egg that belongs to a lizardkin couple. And the Phoenix is like, I'm not going to help out with this. Phoenix would probably be good for this. But Phoenix is like, their pet Phoenix named Phoenix, I should say, is like, nah, because egg-laying species are sensitive, and nah, I'm going to teach Viola how to help so that Viola can be a good big sister, which is cute. A cute little choice. It's a fun little bit of business. Um, and unhatched babies don't really need much attention, so she just talks to it a lot. The parents come back. They have a little joke where they give a boiled ostrich egg, which is apparently a lizard joke, like a lizardkin joke, which was weird. It was a weird bit of business. And then Alyssa invites Fennel to supper, and then Viola ends up teleporting him back into that plant just to end just to kind of end the episode in a joke. And that's it. That's pretty much the episode. A fun little bit of business. And that's also, hey, oops, that's the model kit. The Lego set. I did not think that this would be a one-stream build. I knew it was 140 pieces, but I thought it might take a little while longer, and it didn't. It absolutely did not take. It did not take much time at all. It barely took any time. So I'm going to start something new on Thursday. I'll put a poll up about what I should build later for my $10 patrons. Let's see. I have stuff in the mail. Let me see if any of these things, if I know where any of these things, when any of these things are going to show up. Because I have some stuff. I bought some stuff on online through various websites. Crunchyroll had a sale, and also USA Gundam Store had a sale. So let's see. Okay, that is not coming until Saturday, so I cannot add that to the poll. It might get here sooner. And then let me see the other thing. The USA Gundam Store thing here. Let me see. That's coming on Friday. So maybe they'll come early, but I don't expect either of those to get here. Actually, I do expect maybe I'll check that when I do my poll. But I'll have to do a poll tomorrow. Let's build with Baer. Yeah, this was a speed run. We sped run through this Ninja Go kit, which was fun. It's a fun little build. I'll put it up here so you can see it better. It's fun. I think this kit is sharp as hell and looks very cool. No stickers. That also helped with the build speed. Yeah, this dragon guy is neat. Let's see. I don't want to start a new kit because I like to have my patrons vote. Also, I would have to get out of my chair and go over there. I can tell you, that's what we can do. I can tell you about what I have, but what I have, I can first do what I've got here in person, and then I can do what is coming in the mail. So we can do that. So let's see. Okay, that did. All right, that did work. Great. Dragging now works here from a photo. Not from a photo on the internet, but I can drag there. Yeah, so we'll do a little show and tell here for the rest of the stream. Moonshine says, I got the reissue of the Paddleboard set the other day. Nice. Let me know how that goes. I mean, obviously it's going to be in your backlog, but when you start working on it, please let me know because I would like to hear about it. So we have the Calibarn. The Calibarn is the next thing one of the next things that I'll be building. This is in my backlog already, so my $10 patrons could vote on this as being a thing that I could build. It is one of the I believe is the last Gundam from Witch from Mercury that I have not built yet. It's got some effects parts. You can see. Oh yeah, that's right. You can't see my mouse when I do that. It has some effects parts. Some reverse stickers, and some cool plastic parts. Big old weapon. It's going to be a nice build. I'm looking forward to putting that together in the future. What else do I have here? I have the Gundam Aerial SD EX. I have not worked on an SD kit in quite some time. I saw that and thought that would be neat. It's going to have a ton of stickers because that's what SDs have. Is a ton of stickers, but I am looking forward to working on that because it'll be a good time. That'll be a good little build. So that is something that I could start. And then, let's see, we'll delete that off there. Then I have the Sigrun. I bought the Sigrun. This is the only mass-produced high grade from Iron-Blooded Orphans that I have not built yet. There are other high grade that were premium Bandai kits that I do not have. Ristovan says the SD is cute. Yes, I think that SDEX is pretty neat. It is a cute looking of the aerial. So the Sigrun, as I said, it's the only kit from Iron-Blooded Orphans that was mass produced that I have not built. There are a few premiums, the modifications and all that. I don't have. I don't know how I would get those unless they get reissued. I'm looking forward to it. It's a pretty simple. It's another like knight inspired kit. Aristovan says, does that knight have high heels? It does. It does have high heels. It's got boots with heel. Like many Iron-Blooded Orphans kits that are non-Gundam. It does. A lot of the grunt kits have heels. But it's got a knight theme. It's got a weird cone-shaped helmet, or a head, which is very similar to some styles of knights that used lances would have that kind of style cone because it helped with your vision for fighting in that style. So there is some reason for it. And mostly it's just a cool looking kit. And like I said, I want to finish the Iron-Blooded Orphans kit, so we'll do that. Now, those are all the kits that I have. We'll just put this here. Gonna bring my keyboard a little forward here. Let's talk about, hey, Just Another Spicy. I am doing well. I completed a model kit, and then I completely built the Lego set on stream tonight, and I did not expect to finish this Lego set tonight. So instead of starting something new, we're just talking about what my backlog looks like. So I did finish the Guntank. Also, I hope you're doing well. And I did finish the Jay's Thunder Dragon EVO. So that got there. So yeah, so we're just kind of chatting for a little while, and I'm kind of talking about what's next. So I went through all the kits that are already in my backlog. There's one other, there's a Lego set in my backlog that we got to talk about here, which is apparently an enormous photo. So I did not realize how high quality this photo was. So I'll make that smaller. There we go. This is another thing that is in my backlog. This is the only Lego in my backlog. It is the Vintage Motorcycle 3-in-1. So we can make the Vintage Motorcycle, the Stunt Cycle, and then or maybe that's the Stunt Cycle. I can't remember. These have different names. I'll see them on the box. But this is it's a small kit. It will probably take like a stream and a half to build all these because I do have to disassemble before we reassemble. I like 3-in-1s. It's always nice to have a 3-in-1 in my backlog. Now, I have one kit that's not a Lego set, but it's a knockoff Lego set. It's made by a company called Sawarita, and it's their Halloween set. And that's what I'm building on Halloween, the night before Halloween. Next Monday, I will pause whatever I'm building on Saturday. When we finish Saturday stream, I'll pause whatever I'm working on, and then I'm going to work on that on the 30th. Instead of pumpkin carving. I'm not doing pumpkin carving this year. I'm taking a break from that. I might come back to it in the future. Not doing it this year. So I got this knockoff Lego set, and it is 3 little builds, a vampire and a ghost and a jack-o'-lantern. I believe I have a light that I can put inside that jack-o'-lantern that came with the kit. I have to look at the kit a little bit. It's going to feel janky. It's going to feel weird because that's how these kits feel. These like knockoff, not Lego. But I thought it would be nice to do something a little different. And I saw that and said, yeah, all right, I'll get that. So that's what we're going to do for Halloween is build that. If we finish that kit during the Halloween stream, I will go back to whatever I'm working on. If it looks like we're not going to wrap up that kit, I will stay late on that Monday and just to finish it off. Let's see. And now I want to tell you, friends, about what's coming in the mail. All of this should be delivered this week. I don't have it in my physical possession now, but I do have it. I did order it, and I paid for it, and it's in the mail. From USA Gundam Store, I have the Gundam Age-1 Normal, which is one of the silliest names for a model kit of all time. We have built the Gundam Age-2 before. I've never built the Gundam Age-1 Normal. That's what it's called, because it's the basic edition, and so they call it Normal. It's the normie kit. I still have never watched Gundam Age. It's one of the few Gundams I've never watched a single moment of. There are so many Age suits. Yes, they made a lot of Ages. I believe there's at least 3. And I've only built Age 2. I've never built anything else. I built a few other things from Age. Still never seen Age. I love it's like a modern take on a classic design. It's very RX-782, right? You look at it and you're like, you know where the idea for this kit came from, with some modifications. I think it's a fun design, and I'm going to be happy to work on it. That's coming in the mail for USA Gundam Store. Scheduled to arrive on Friday. Will not be part of my poll. Will be part of a poll in the future. Certainly. And then I have 2 things that are due to arrive on Saturday. So won't be part of my poll for what I build next. It's the Dom Tropin. I don't remember when this kit came out, but it's a cool Dom. And I've never built a Dom on, as far as I can tell, I'm fairly confident that I've never built a Dom on stream. I'm going to look up. Yeah, it's not there. And then I'm going to check. I'm just like literally looking in my YouTube. I'm searching my own YouTube for Dom to see if it came up. But I'm fairly confident. I've built like variations, but I've never built a Dom. Is that illegally distinct from a Dom Trooper? It's a different kind. I'm going to look up Dom Tropin. It's just a variation. But I want to know more about this kit myself because I'm not super familiar with it. Other than I looked at it and I went, I love the red in there. I love the rockets. It's a big clanky one. It's got a little samurai vibe to it. Okay. The MS-09F Trop, the Dom Tropin, is first featured in the OVA in Stardust Memory. It is, and then later the design was updated in Unicorn, in the novel Unicorn. And let's see here. Let's look. I'm looking right now at the Gundam fandom, the Gundam wiki fandom. But yeah, it's just a variation of the Dom. It's a special Dom. All right. This kit, yeah, because there's also a sand brown color, which is just the original kit, but it is in desert colors. That came out in 2002. This is a kit from 2000. And there's a unicorn version, was a Bandai exclusive in 2017. And I believe that is just a modification of the original. So this is a kit from 2000. We're doing early 2000s again. It appears to have a rocket launcher and a beam weapon. And it looks neat. So yeah, the Dom Tropin, which is not the same thing as a Dom Trooper. It is a variation of the Trooper. And that is in the mail. I got that from Crunchyroll, which is really just Right Stuff. It was a Right Stuff promotion. Crunchyroll owns and is eventually going to close Right Stuff. It just folded into theirs. But they had a like 1-day sale, and it was already discounted, and I picked it up. Yes, and of course, rest in peace, Right Stuff. We hardly knew ye. Fuck you, Sony, and your fucking buy stuff and combined it and then lay people off and close it ways. We blame a lot on Microsoft for all this shit, but Sony's doing it too, just not in video games. And then I also bought from Crunchyroll's store, which is really Right Stuff. It's Garchomp. That's a big photo of Garchomp. It's Garchomp. This kit probably will not take any time at all to build. It was very inexpensive. I've never seen it on Amazon. It's just Garchomp. It's just a Garchomp model kit. I bet that that's like an hour to build, if at all. There will probably be like some stickers. I wouldn't imagine maybe the yellow is a sticker. If the eyes are probably a sticker. So like it'll take a little time if there are a bunch of stickers. I won't know if there are stickers until it arrives because I generally that information is hard to track down unless I watch a stream of someone building it, which I could do, but I don't usually do that. So that's my backlog. My backlog right now is my backlog. What happened here? Hold on. Okay. Including kits that are in the mail. My backlog is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 model kits, 4 of which are 5 Gundam model kits, 4 of which are high grades, 1 of which is an STEX, 1 Pokemon kit, and 1 Lego set, and 1 knockoff Lego set that I'm building for Halloween. And that's my backlog. This is where I come to watch a stream of someone building something. Yes, I'm John. I know, crazy, right? That is the thing. So yeah, I don't have the biggest backlog in the world right now, but I do have a few things. I should be good for a while. I'm still hoping that by the end of the year, that my AdSense becomes enough that I can. I'm hoping my AdSense. Basically, with Google AdSense, you need to hit $100 before you can get a payout. I currently have. I'm looking it up right now, so I can tell you. $89 in there. So I am close to getting a payout. I don't know if a bunch of people watch my videos this year, by the end of the year, I will have enough money. But it's a slow process, right? They're basically giving a disproportionate money to shorts, YouTube shorts. And I should probably do a few more YouTube shorts because they pay better than my 20-minute videos right now. It's weird to say that, but that's true. Just because of because they are still right now, they are trying to encourage people like me to make shorts. So right now, short money is good. So I should probably do that. But yeah, well, eventually I will have $100, and my AdSense money, even if it's from stuff that's not model kit building. That all just counts as model kit stuff. And so I will buy something. I will use that money to buy some kits. I will have, at Christmas, I will most likely have a gift card that I will use for some kind of kit because I always seem to do that from Amazon. And I will, generally when I get a big Amazon gift card, I make a poll for viewers to vote on what I should buy. And it's always something very expensive, like something that is close to $100 or at least more than, like a $60 or $80 model kit is not something that I would just buy for myself, but I will use almost all of a gift card to do that because it'll be special. Instead of buying like 4 model kits, I'll buy 1 really cool model kit. I don't know, that's my style. I want to thank you for hanging out here on stream with me. We're going to wrap things up here. We did a little show and tell at the end. Unexpected show and tell. Was not expecting that, but it's fun. We are going to raid, though. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find somebody doing cool shit and go hang out with them. Mary Kish is not streaming tonight because of TwitchCon, of course. She was hard at work. As in Justice, we always end with a raid. But yes, she's hard at work doing her thing. So we're not going to go... thank you, Just Another Spicy. So we're not gonna go raid her. Let's see. My friend Liz has been streaming for a while, and she is playing. She is literally wrapping up. We are not raiding my friend Liz because she is wrapping up her stream. All right, who are we gonna go raid then? My buddy, Ray FK. My buddy Ray does not stream that often these days because he is very busy. He is playing the game Wizard with a Gun, which we saw Mary Kish play. So we're going to go raid Ray FK, my buddy Jordan, and hang out with him as he plays this game. Well, thank you also, Doom Kitten, for that. I appreciate that. If you don't know Jordan, he currently works for Wizards of the Coast in their Magic the Gathering stuff in community, and he is often hangs out and does stuff with Loading Ready Run, and he's somebody that also does Desert Bus for Hope via Loading Ready Run. So he's gonna be a fun time. Jordan's a great dude, so please come along as we raid Ray FK, and I will see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. Jackbox Party Pack 10. Please come. Jackbox games don't work if there isn't an audience, and we're checking out the brand new Jackbox. So please come. I would enjoy that, and I will see you on stream. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.